So it's 11 minutes past 9, which means that it is time for our Live in London session. And I am really delighted to say that I have got in the studio the British singer and guitarist Rosie Frater-Taylor. I say British, she's one of ours. She's from London. She's had a busy few weeks ahead of her with a big release of her hotly anticipated studio album, Featherweight, and 2 London dates, including a gig at the Amira in Southwark. And I'm really, really happy to have her joining me in the studio for a chat as well as a live performance. I'm going to quickly say hello to you, Rosie. Hello.
Hello. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you. Are you doing all right this evening?
I'm doing all right. I've got my tea. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I've got tea. I'm fine.
You've had a busy day.
I have had
Tell everybody where you've been.
I've been to Bristol and back.
Wow.
Today.
Gosh, that's a lot. Well, thank you for being here.
Of course, I wouldn't miss it.
We appreciate it. We're going to hear one of your tracks and before we hear your live performance, and we're going to hear the track Stop Running, and it is one of the tracks which has not been released yet as a single.
This is an album special.
This is an album special. Okay, wonderful. Well, let's hear this track, Stop Running. This is Rosie Frater-Taylor.
Something to say it slowly, so I can hear. Something to say it slowly in my ear, so I can hear. Talking with that tone, I don't know what you're trying to do, but if I wanna leave, I'm not sorry. A little sweeter if you wanna get a little bit closer to me. Stop running. I wonder how much it'll take to set me straight. It's kinda crazy. I wanna know why I keep losing control when you get close. Stop running. I wonder how much it'll take to set me straight. It's kinda crazy. I wanna leave. I need somebody who can put me at ease. You're wrong for me. Pull away, take it easy. Crystal clear. Take a break, 'cause this ain't wordplay and it just don't feel sincere. Talking with that tone, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm not lonely. Be a little nicer if you wanna get a little bit closer to me. I wonder how much it'll take to set me straight. It's kinda crazy. I wanna know why I keep losing control when you get close. Stop running. I wonder how much it'll take to set me straight. It's kinda crazy. I wanna leave. I need somebody who can put me at ease. You're wrong for me.
That was Rosie Frater-Taylor and Stop Running. And I'm delighted to say that I have got Rosie Frater-Taylor in the studio with me now. Welcome to the programme, Rosie.
Thank you so much for having me. It means a lot to be here.
It's a real pleasure to have you here. And so when I was presenting the scene, it was about 3 years ago, we were just talking about the fact that we played one of your songs all the way then, and so much has happened in that time.
Yeah.
How have you been over the last 3 years, Rosie?
How have I been? I've been very well. I mean, that album sort of superseded any expectations I had remotely of releasing it. And after the album came out, the following year was like I managed to like tour the EU a bunch with like my bassist and my drummer, and kind of experienced some kind of crazy places. Like me and my manager ended up in LA, like filming a guitar masterclass and like enjoying the sunshine. And like I've been to some places I don't think I would ever have gone. So like Salzburg in Austria, because they all have really amazing music and jazz festivals and little pockets and scenes in Europe. So I kind of spent a year doing that, and then the last year has sort of been just honing and making this new album, finessing to too greater an extent, some might say. But yeah, that's kind of what this year has been, and now I'm like finally able to let it go, put it out in the world. Yeah. How
does it feel now then that you're able to put it out in the world?
It feels great. It feels like I'm ready to I'm more than ready for people to hear it, because I think in the music industry, artists like these days, it's sort of, you have this big build up to an album. It's like, 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 singles, or sometimes the album is just a series of singles. And that's not really my cup of tea. Because I always feel like I'm an album person. Like I make the album as an album. It just like must sound like an old person saying this.
Well,
maybe I'm a bit. But
I mean, a little bit, but this is good because it's the way that we used to listen to music, isn't it? We used to listen to an album in its entirety. It wasn't just about listening to a track independently and then skipping forward however many, because you were listening to music via, I don't know, a tape in some cases. And that's why I say, it doesn't age you because you're not old at all. But the way in which people listen to music has changed somewhat. So it's an old school way of listening to music, but it's a beautiful way of listening to music. And I hope that people still encompass your work or listen to your work in its entirety like that.
Yeah, I really think so. I think, when I was asked, what do you want to go with as a lead single? And I had a bit of an existential crisis, because I'm like, all of the songs to me, I kind of put an equal amount of energy into them. I wouldn't say, whereas I guess on some pop albums, you might have your hits and then some of the filler. For me, like, I really did work incredibly hard on every single moment of the album. And so I'm like, they're all my children. So you're going to make me choose a child. That's what you're going to do.
That's terrible. Okay, so talk to us about the music writing process for you, because as you say, all of them are your baby. Each track is equally important to you. So what has that process been like, putting it all together and putting it into an album?
It's been sort of a little bit different to my last process, because I wrote and produced my last album during lockdown, like predominantly in my bedroom. And a lot of this album has elements of that, but I think in my mind I'm very inspired by a lot of kind of pop and rock, alt pop and alt rock music at the moment. So a few artists like Madison Cunningham, she's from LA, artists like Willow Smith, she's like making some really cool like alt rock music. And so I think I had a bit of a vision in my head of taking like the sound of the album to a less woody, more stadium-like place. And I think in that process, it was a lot of trial and error, because the songs existed in a very different format initially, and then I was like, well, I want this to sound bigger in some ways. So I experimented with working with like several producers and getting some like additional production, additional instruments on it. There wasn't necessarily an easy process for me because I'm a massive control freak. But yeah, it was definitely a long-winded, mismatched process, but I've come out with something that ultimately I'm very happy with. So yeah, I think it's just all a bit of a learning experience. Making music. Interesting.
And I just want to pick your mind on this, because earlier today a report from the Music Venues Trust came out, and it's talking about the fact that financial stresses have led 125 UK venues to abandon live music in 2023. Over half of those shutting entirely. And it's things like the bills and the cost of overheads on them. And it's been the most challenging year of the past decade, 2023, for a number of live music venues. And it also says in this report that the fact that grassroots venues are often the scene for emerging talent and emerging musicians, and the impact that will have on being the launch pad for fledgling artists. As an artist, and you're established now, but I know that you will have played a number of these venues. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that, probably same as you, that it's awful because there's a lot of pressure on artists to get momentum online, on social media, on TikTok, and I think that's not the vibe for a lot of artists. I would include myself in that list. I'm not naturally very good on like filming myself on camera, whereas some people are amazing at that. But there's plenty of artists like me who don't really want to build their fan base online. And often like playing live is like really the sole way to do that. If you're not big on social media, and it's how you build the most genuine fan connection. In my experience, it's where you're just there performing a song, often in a very stripped back way, to another human being, which is something that's very distorted online. And so it's I don't know what to say. It's like it's terrible that venues are closing like that. But yeah,
and often times when you see an artist live at a venue like that, I used to spend an awful lot of time in I say awful lot, a brilliant amount of time in small venues watching live artists. And I guess people's viewing habits have changed, and actually in part because of the pandemic as well. So that's probably impacted this as well in a lot of ways. But you really got to see the talent up close and personal, and it's so impactful seeing people performing live. So it's such a shame that people are going to miss out on that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's like the music industry is a very odd place at the moment because of the sort of insurmountable rise of the internet and of like social media platforms. And I think it's across the board, really, people are sort of feeling like artists are feeling very burnt out by that. But then there's a lot of pressure from all angles, really, from promoters, from venues who want to like put your show on. They're like, well, how many social media followers do you have, and have you gone viral yet? And I think that sort of carries through to like a lot of like major labels, and the reason why artists are getting signed. It's like, and in a way it's great, in a way it's like, wow, you have all this control to break yourself. You don't need anyone to tell you to do that. But then at some point it's just like, well, what's the more important thing? Like, making amazing TikTok videos or making amazing music. And I think it's just a very odd place, the music industry at the moment, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, we know what will have the lasting impact is what I'm going to say on that. Okay. Tell us about the song that you're going to perform for us live.
Right. So this is the first track on the album, and this was one that sort of felt a bit like a statement track for me. Those sort of rockier, poppier themes like went through a lot of different stages of production, and obviously I'm going to play it in quite a stripped back setting, but like the track itself has like quite a lot of overdriven guitars, like a little bit rockier, but yeah, so it's a bit of my statement track. It's called Give and Take.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to close my mic and hand over to you.
Thank you. feet, there ain't no turning back. Can I hold your hand? Just trying to understand. Oh, lately I've been reading between the lines. Whatever you say you want, when all's said and done, oh, who do you think you are? And what are you frightened of? Oh, I can't help feeling like I'm learning this the hard way. 'Cause we give and we take and we alienate, and it's all I can do not to scare you away. 'Cause I'm stuck between a rock and then a hard place. Now I'm feeling the shame and you're playing it straight, and I'm trying to get my heart out of the way. I can't help feeling like I'm learning this the hard way. 'Cause we give and we take and we alienate, and it's all I can do not to scare you away. 'Cause I'm stuck between a rock and then a hard place. Now I'm feeling the shame and you're playing it straight, and I'm trying to get my heart out of the way. Swallowing all the nonsensical storylines, oh, simmering underneath. I'm seeing it in my dreams. Oh, a sympathetic look into your eyes. Tell me, what are you running from? When all's said and done, following foolish things I'm doing from the sidelines. Yeah, my heart's on the cord, I'm hitting it back and forth. Oh, now you say it's just a friendly game, but we're playing for tainted stakes. Oh, and this is stalemate. I wonder, where is your confidence? 'Cause babe, I'm not your reconnaissance. I can't help feeling like I'm learning this the hard way. 'Cause we give and we take and we alienate, and it's all I can do not to scare you away. 'Cause I'm stuck between a rock and then a hard place. Now I'm feeling the shame and you're playing it straight, and I'm trying to get my heart out of the way.
Rosie Frater-Taylor. Oh my gosh, your voice is just stunning.
Thank you so much.
And I just love the musicality of that. It was just a beautiful performance.
Thank you.
And I feel very blessed to have been seeing it live. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So this week's Live in London session, it was with the brilliant Rosie Frater-Taylor. You've got a gig coming up at Rough Trade West on the 8th of February.
I do, yep.
Your new album is Featherweight. It's out on the 9th of February. Yep. Amazing stuff. And you can also catch her at the Amira at London on the 17th of February.
17th of Feb, yeah, with the full band, yeah.
Full band, okay. Mm-hmm. And where can people get the album?
people can get the album. They can get it at my official store at my website. So that's rosiefrater-taylor.com, or on Bandcamp as well. Or you can just harass me in the street and I'll probably have one on me. Don't do that, actually.
Don't do that. Rosie, what a treat. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.